Life, as we all know, can throw you some curveballs sometimes. And when that happens, you plan, you adjust, pick yourself back up, and keep moving forward. Lately, I have not been putting out as much content as I myself expect of myself, but that all stops right now. Because as a great crazy man once said, I'm tan, I'm rested,
and I'm ready to give this old town a wedgie again.
And what's a better way to ruffle up some feathers than by telling a bunch of grown folk that they're wrong?
Isn't that cute? But it's wrong! Then we hit the field light, all day light, all night light, on the blue light, offense light, defense light, his squad light, house call light, and a sound light, and a sound light, and a sound light.
Quarterbacks, wide receivers, defensive backs, mainly corners, and I'll even add the tight ends. All skilled positions that everyone just loves and drools over. They just can't get enough of it. During free agency and the NFL draft, these are the topics that everyone wants to talk about.
You take the best players, and then you look for the quarterback maybe early in round 2, the way I had it worked out in this mock 4.0.
And more times than not, we will always have someone dressed up, sitting nice, looking at a camera and telling the world that the quarterback is the most important position in the National Football League overall in football.
I think it's the most important position far beyond just because it's so complicated, but because of that dynamic. When you know you have a guy, pulling the strings in key situations, and you just feel good about them making plays, even to the other side of the ball, right? Like when your defense knows, if we get off the field here, and we get our guy the ball back.
Yeah, I've talked about this briefly in a few videos here and there, but I really honestly think it's time I just sit down and I just break it down for you. I've said this, I mean this, I believe this. The quarterback position is the most valuable position in the football world, but it's not the most important. And before y'all lose your minds, let me explain. Let's say you have a prized possession that's worth a whole lot of money. It's very valuable, and everybody and their mama wants one. What do? Do you just go the cheap route, go to Walmart, find you a nice little safe and stuff it in there and hope for the best? Or do you pay top dollar to go out there and find the absolute best kind of protection you can to keep this thing safe? Yeah, if everybody had the funds to do it, daggone well, you would slap Walmart to go ahead and get the top tier best you could. And that's my point exactly. With the quarterback position being the most valuable, then it's obvious the most important position on any football team is the offensive line. Now, understand this, before I go any further, I believe personally that the most important position on any team are the boys in the trenches, the offensive line and the defensive line. But defensive linemen tend to get a little bit more praise than offensive linemen do, because what's a defensive lineman's job? His job is to hunt. Matter of fact, go to your closet right now and tell me how many offensive lineman jerseys you have. Half the time you have to actually create it when you go to your team's website, because they don't sell their offensive linemen's jerseys. But even defensive linemen are outshadowed by cornerbacks and sometimes safeties. And honest and truthfully, that completely blows my mind and has for years. I mean, every year around the draft time comes, especially for my team, anytime I hear anybody talking about the Ravens, it's about who they should get, and the first thing they want to bring up, if it's not wide receiver, Lord have mercy, I'm so tired of hearing that, it's the cornerback. It's the cornerback or the safeties, the guys in the back, which makes absolutely no sense to me. I am well aware what all these teams have to worry about, especially with the NFL being an offensive happy league nowadays. But when you think about it, what makes more sense? When you're taking on a snake, what's the safest thing to do? Do you get on the ground and try to defang the snake at the risk of getting bitten? Or do you take the head completely off?
Open his head!
Yeah, y'all have fun taking the gamble of getting bitten by a venomous snake that can just destroy you. I'm chopping that head clean off.
Burrow under pressure, they get him at the 20.
Which actually further proves my point. If you don't invest in your offensive line, I don't care who you got in the backfield. It doesn't matter. If he's on his back more times than he's on his feet, he's irrelevant. Don't believe me? Look at what happened to Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. What those Eagles defensive line did to him during that whole game. And they didn't blitz, not once. They just sent their front four. They looked at them boys and said, hey, take him out. And that's exactly what they did. And if you don't want to go off of that example, look at your boy Joe Burrow. How many of you just absolutely love Joe Burrow, think he's the greatest thing ever? Cincinnati Bengals just went ahead and spent more money on his toys on the side, on the field, getting his top 2 receivers back. What'd they do with their offensive line?
Not a damn thing.
And even if you are an elite passer, an elite quarterback in the National Football League, and you can run around, you still have to get those boys off you. They get paid to take you out. They're going to get you eventually. So more praise is long overdue for offensive linemen. Tackles, guards, centers, all those boys. Now, they're both retired now, but we literally just witnessed 2 of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game of football in Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. What is the common denominator between both of those guys? Both of their offensive line were legit. There is no way you can tell me or convince me that those guys having a great offensive line had nothing to do with those boys putting up the numbers that they did and breaking and creating the records that they broke. Talent can be found anywhere, especially in the draft. I'm not going front. But let's stop acting like these guys, these offensive linemen that are in the draft, while we understand why some of those guys fall down to the 2nd round or 3rd round. But then these teams will go out, get wide receivers and tight ends and draft the quote-unquote franchise quarterback. But for 95% of the game, he's running around trying to save his life because his O-line is non-existent. And I'm not taking anything away from the quarterbacks in the National Football League. I'm not saying that they are less than anything, but I'm not going to sit here and act like it's just them and they're the only reason why any team is successful in the National Football League. I already broke down my viewing on the running backs in the National Football League. And if anything else, this past season, them boys went out and they showed the world, yeah, we're still relevant and you still need us. The reality of the entire thing is, yes, every team needs a franchise quarterback, but every franchise quarterback needs their offensive line. I don't care what you're trying to build. Anytime you're trying to do something like that, it starts on the foundation. Build off your offensive lineman and go from there. You'll win every time. Thank you for watching this video. By all means, like, share, and leave a comment. And if you want to see more content, go ahead and push the subscribe and notification button for videos already up and for the ones to come.